Various teams were formed to nab these accused, and finally the Punjab police got to know that the tail of these shooters, the origin as well as the exit point, was towards Haryana. Following to which the crime branch officials also contacted the state police of Uttarakhand when one of the supplier who had given this Corolla vehicle to the shooters was also apprehended, and he was brought to Mansa. He was subject to questioning. What they got to know that there were calls which were made from Fatehabad jail and to supply these vehicles to these shooters, and following to which the cops are also looking for those arms dealers who could have provided these weapons to these particular individuals who carried out this assassination of. But the fact is that there were drug dealers as well as of Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and Rajasthan, which is certainly linked to Lawrence Bishoy as well as Godi Brar, and Kala Jateri is also coming out in picture. And what
All right, we're just trying to reconnect that line with Priyank, but this is a selfie twist to the murder that is now coming across, because this is there's a CCTV footage that has been accessed. There, that black car, Sidhu Moosewala in it. Of course, it is tinted there, so it's very difficult to actually see who is in the car. But Gurpreet, just explain to us this new CCTV footage that has been accessed.
Well, yes, of course, during the investigation, it is also learned that somebody known to Sidhu Moosewala, he was leaking that information, and that's why they were able to identify he was on the wheels. We have already shown multiple videos where we have seen that how Sidhu Moosewala was tailed by two vehicles. One is Toyota Corolla and another is a Bolero car. And we have seen that Times Now has just exposed the first time the shooters, and now even the police people, they have released the pictures of these suspects saying that these people are behind the crime. So all these CCTV camera footage have already connected the dots that murder was pre-planned and now executed after that tailing the Sidhu Moosewala's vehicle. And even if we can look into the postmortem report as well as the vehicle where the multiple fires had been opened by these shooters, it was a clear-cut target of these shooters towards Sidhu Moosewala. And we had already visited the spot where we have seen that Sidhu Moosewala was shot multiple times, and as we had reported, 30 to 40 gunshots were fired at Sidhu Moosewala, and 19 shots as per the post-mortem, 19 shots injuries. He was able to come to the injuries during the hospital. So all these details are very clear. The CCTV camera footage depicting the whole story that Sidhu Moosewala, somebody known to Sidhu Moosewala, had provided that information, and that's why the whole incident had taken place. All these details, even the police have also clarified that they are trying to get all the details, and these suspect picture which we have already broken.
All right. Sidhu Moosewala, of course, was a very popular personality. It wouldn't have been very difficult to identify him. But this new video definitely exposes the individuals who were involved and the entire planning, how it was a pre-planned conspiracy. Right after the security was withdrawn, the administration withdrew security of Sidhu Moosewala. Bolero and Corolla cars in which the killers were traveling tailed his Thar in which Sidhu Moosewala was traveling, and then an individual who was seen to be taking a selfie seems to have given a tip-off to the killers who followed Sidhu Moosewala and then shot at him. Multiple shots were fired. These are some of the very important points that are coming to the fore now after this video has been accessed. Priyank and Gurpreet continue to be with us. Priyank, a couple of very important points have been made by Gurpreet. An individual identified Sidhu Moosewala leaving his residence. He then passes on that information to the killers. He was seen taking a selfie, which is the latest that has been accessed now. And then, of course, we saw the entire car chase sequence.
Yes, Adi, Swati, see, Gurpreet is absolutely right, because that was the point for which the Punjab police was trying to trail these suspects. The information was very clear that there was someone who came right outside the bungalow of Sidhu Moosewala in Musa village, which is, barely 10 to 15 kilometers away from the district headquarters of Mansa, and following to which the information was specifically given, because you remember the vehicle of Sidhu Moosewala had black tinted glasses, so it was could have been very difficult for these suspects to identify that whether he was on wheel or not. And the direction of all these bullets were clearly pointing at the direction of the driving seat, which was quite clear that a proper tip-off was given. What the police officials were also saying, that he was going to his property to take a round and see that whether the construction work at another property of Sidhu Moosewala was going at a proper pace or not. The information also came up that he was apparently going to meet his aunt, but that was denied later on by the police officials. So there was someone who was at the property of Sidhu Moosewala is another point which the police are also suspecting, because there was someone who called Moosewala. That's why he told his security personnel to stay back at his residence, because the threat was also at his residence. But not even that. When Sidhu left, he was in a black tinted glass vehicle. So I was barely 2 meters away from the vehicle, and I could not see at around 4:30 in that kind of hard sun that who was sitting where. But the direction of these bullets, Swati, was quite clearly shown that it was direction towards the driving seat. Now the point is that all these suspects have been identified. The shooters who were part of this killing have also been identified, but the Punjab police is yet to go ahead and arrest these accused, because the suppliers are being nabbed by the police. But even after many days have passed, Sidhu Moosewala's killer are still on the run. It's 8 days, Swati, and all these shooters are still at large, far away from the clutches of the law enforcing agency of Punjab police, which is a very worrying thing.
Absolutely. Gurpreet, if I can come to you on that, as far as the identification of these people, these shooters, that has been done for now by the police. What more information can you add? Because adjoining states is where the investigation is also being carried out by the police.
Well, yes, of course. On Times Now, we have broken multiple CCTV camera, as the Times Now has first broken that CCTV camera where these shooters who were traveling in Bolero vehicle, they had been sighted in one of the petrol pump. That pictures had been when we have highlighted. After that, the police had gone through that route, and specifically they were trying to get all the CCTV images from the various locations. Now, during the investigation, it has been clear that these shooters were able to enter from Fatehabad towards and through Badlada. That means that they had entered from Haryana side towards Punjab, and these all shooters, they had stayed at Fatehabad. We have seen 2 more people had been picked up by the police from there, because they feel that Devinder, one of the persons, Devinder, who is involved in the NDPS and drugs cases, and even he was caught by the Punjab police in 2 kg drug haul. So that was the main person who had a contact with these shooters, and it seems that the police say he was the one who had provided the logistic, and specifically this vehicle Bolero, which we have been highlighting for the last so many days. Times Now has first broken that story, that how this Bolero vehicle had been spotted on 25th of May in Fatehabad, and that means they were these all shooters, they gathered there, they were staying there, and after that, when we were going through our own investigation of Times Now, we have seen that same vehicle had been spotted at one of the petrol pumps, where we were able to get that.
Right, Gurpreet and Priyank, stay on with us.